So this is spoilers ahead, Brohood Productions review. There's this age-old quote said by Uncle Ben. With great power comes great responsibility.
Yeah, buddy.
So I don't know. When JP and I get the chills during a movie, that we liked either that particular scene or the entirety of that movie. So there is a lot to relate, like we've talked about, to the character of Spider-Man. As a kid, you want to be Spider-Man, you want to dress up like Spider-Man. Spider-Man, in some ways, is the chosen one or whatever. But the problem is when you become Spider-Man at 14 or 15, there's a little bit of a power struggle between your alter ego, and your parents.
Honestly, that continues way, way after.
Yes. Oh, what's that? Don't you want to tell everybody what you're eating?
It's cornbread. Just a quick shout out to Food Almighty. Look them up on Facebook and Instagram. They got the best Texas barbecue food, and their cornbread is so good.
So when we watched Miles Morales Across the Spider-Verse, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, the movie starts with Spider-Gwen, Spider-Woman. We get a lot of father-daughter dynamic, really cool stuff. And then we meet Spider-Man 2099, Miguel O'Hara. We love Spider-Man 2099, but this movie made us hate him so much. Oscar Isaac, you're awesome. We love you, Oscar Isaac.
I gotta say this, bro. What this what this movie really focuses on, I would say, is Spider-Man always finds a way.
Hmm. Mhm.
And I think that's something that stood out to me a lot because when you're faced with a great threat like in this movie,
The Spot.
well, um, I'm going to tie this in a little bit into um, financial literacy. Just give a quick analogy, but for generations and generations, education has been passed down to us, and our parents and school and society and whatever tell us that something is supposed to be a way. It should be this way. That's how life is. Say that's wrong. Now I say that because in this movie, this is spoiler. We can share spoilers, right?
Spoilers ahead. This video is spoilers all over the place.
Yeah. So in this movie, Miles Morales um, has this like intervention with all the Spider-Mans, and Miguel O'Hara is giving his big speech about how there are,
Being Spider-Man is a sacrifice.
yeah, he's talking about Nexus events, but in the Spider Verse canon events, where it is true, Spider Man would not be who he is without what happened to
Without
him,
loss.
without loss. Yes. Um, and so the question that that you start to ask yourself in the movie, maybe Alma did, maybe he didn't, but it's like, does Spider-Man have to become Spider-Man through loss, or is it just the difficult events when you're faced with a choice and you have to make a decision? He got in trouble because he saved the what's the Indian's Peter Parker's name? Or the Indian Spider-Man's girlfriend's dad,
Yeah, the captain of the
was
police
saved by
force.
Miles Morales. And then Miguel O'Hara choose the living heck out of Miles. Like, you're not supposed to do that. That was not supposed to happen. And then he goes on to say he has the audacity when they're fighting and Miles is trying to escape. He's like, "You were not supposed to be Spider-Man."
No. That
And I was,
that makes me mad.
I
It's
know it
like you
does. Me
weren't even
too.
supposed to be Spider-Man. Oh, no.
The
It
spider,
hurts.
it does. It really does. The spider that bit him was from another dimension. And I'm like, okay, hold on. See,
People think that's a surprise, by the way. Little tangent here. In the beginning of the movie, you see that it's glitching. You know after watching Spider into the Spider-Verse 20,000 times, you know even before watching this movie, you know that it's from a different universe. Anyways,
yeah, no. I mean, but I guess this is a little contradictory to what I'm saying, maybe. But things are supposed to meant to happen. Like Miles was supposed to become Spider-Man. I really do feel that. But let me tie it back to what I was trying to say. All these Spider-Mans were trying to tell him this is how it is, and you cannot change it. You have to accept it.
so
And
in
Miles has to.
context, what JP is saying, you either have the choice of saving everyone or the choice of saving one person.
So that is a difficult question. Where in history we've seen a lot of examples. I'm not going to give examples, but in history, because whatever. But we're talking about Spider-Man. Excuse me. Um,
Don't get choked up on us, okay?
um, they're telling him this is how it's supposed to be. You can't change it. This is how it is. This is the Spider-Verse, and you cannot change it. And all these people are saying if you knew that it's weird, that your dad was gonna die, or let's just say someone close to you was gonna die, and you knew, but you had a choice. You had the chance to save them. Would you not? You know? So, like I said, I really feel like this movie was all about that. Like you're presented with choices, and you have to make a decision. But Spider-Man always finds a way. That's what I always remember reading about him. That's what I remember him in the TV series, in the movies.
In the
He
multiple TV
finds a
series
way.
that we love.
Huh?
In the multiple TV series that we love.
Multiple TV series. So I'm rooting for Miles Morales. I'm rooting for him because uh you know we could always in the movie it talks about this too, but in the first one, like he made a mistake. Spider-Man makes mistakes. We all make mistakes.
Well, what 14-year-old doesn't make a mistake though? That's part of the.
Yeah, okay. But the movie's just so good.
The philosophy of Spider-Man is so well done, balancing both sides of life. He's supposed to get a cake for his dad's party, and he can't even get that right. Reminds me of Spider-Man 2 when he can't even deliver pizza.
Yeah, he can't deliver pizza
Just
and
give
it's
me
late.
another chance. Pizza time.
Yeah, I mean, you think back. No Way Home was the most recent movie, but there was a way to save everyone.
But he had to make a
Is
choice.
that
Peter Parker had to make a choice to
is that
save everyone.
unrealistic or realistic? You know, I think it is. There, But it's a hard question to. I mean, it depends what you've gone through life.
Well, I think that's what the whole Spider-Man intervention was all about. And so, guys, imagine if you haven't watched it yet. Spoilers ahead. There's a concourse and a concourse of spiders. This is Spider Society. There is Marvel's Spider-Man. There is Andrew Garfield Spider-Man, Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, Tom Holland Spider-Man, Indian Spider-Man, Spider-Punk, Spider-Man Unlimited, Spectacular Spider-Man,
Spider-Man dinosaur,
Spidey Dinosaur.
the Spider-Man cat.
Oh, Spider-Cat. So everybody is coming across as if they have accepted the fact that bad things are going to happen. But the difference for a true Spider-Man isn't accepting the sacrifice. It's how it's beautifully portrayed in the movie. If you have the chance, you're going to try to do both. You're not in control of the consequences. You're in control of your own choices.
Yeah.
And it was Easter egg throughout the entire thing, where Spider-Man tries to do both. Does he always succeed? No. Into the Spider-Verse, the little spider pig, it's not my favorite variation of Spider-Man, says, and even Captain America says this too, in this job, you can't save everybody. But your job is to what? To try.
To try. You don't want to go through life and regret that you didn't do something.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, Spider-Man is going to find a way to save the freaking universe and his dad.
Yeah.
He will.
Is there going to be loss? Is there going to be failure? Are there going to be mistakes? Yes.
Like we saw in Infinity War. But what happened? They figured out a way. Yeah, anyhow.
It's all good. It's all good. It's a great movie, guys. Sorry, we're not giving you much, I guess, spoilers.
We could give you a breakdown of Alma was doing it, and then the movie's so good. Like I want to see it again today. I don't know if I am, but I really want to.
So the story progresses to the point that it's everybody against Miles. You guys, you've all seen it in the trailer. It's not like that's a secret. Everybody's going after Miles, but the biggest thing, and spoilers ahead, is what Miguel says to Miles, and that is, you were never meant to be Spider-Man. And that pains me. You're not supposed to say that. It's like with the Flash. The lightning bolt chose you. This was, as JP said, supposed to happen. He was supposed to become Spider-Man. He is going to save the universe. He is the chosen. Just like Spider-Man and Marvel Spider-Man is the chosen one. All those kinds of things. So then he takes matters into his own hands and tries to go back home. But the plot twist is that he ends up not going home because of this super cool machine that reads your DNA, read his DNA the wrong way, read the DNA from the other spider, and sent him there. Here's a bit of a tangent, because this is something that really bothered me, and JP knows this. Miguel is giving this hardcore beat-up speech to Miles, and he tells him, if the spider would have never gone into your universe, your Spider-Man would have never died. It's hard for me to understand. And then when Miles goes into this other universe where there was no Spider-Man, it's a dark place. That's a messed up universe. There's a part where they go outside on top of the roof, and you can see there's a lot of things burning. It's a bad place.
Sad New York.
It's a really sad New York. And another thing before we get to like the basically the climax of the movie is I loved the Latino and Black representation in this movie.
Yeah.
It's fun. And I heard a comment said that the music wasn't as good as the first one. The music was awesome.
I honestly did not hear the music.
JP was too invested.
Except during the credits.
So we get to this point where Miles is speaking to his mom, And you think that they did this beautifully. Even I was tricked at some point, but I knew. Once 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 she was laughing at him, I kind of thought there was something up. And of course, when Uncle Aaron shows up, you're like, hopefully, if our Uncle Theo Spidey's watching, hopefully he doesn't get mad at us. But Uncle Aaron reminds me of Theo Spidey.
Shouldn't have said it, bro.
It's okay. He
Shouldn't have said it.
understands. He understands. We love him. We love him to death. Um, but there's this scene where they did this really cool thing where you think you're in the same universe, but you're not, and they can't find Miles. It's because he's in the different universe. And then he gets sucker punched, and he's in this like warehouse. He's like tied up to a boxing bag. And then the Prowler of this universe shows up. Oh,
Dude, is
chills.
there any way to bring it? No, I think we'd get YouTube would flag us. It's out there. That scene is out there.
Yeah.
Go, keep going, bro. Keep going.
No, yeah, but I think that the hardest part is coming back to that conversation with Miguel to the end of the movie, where you're like, okay, if Miles never became Spider-Man, he was going to go down a dark road and become a villain. Of course, this
You
is
know,
this is Sony's Spider-Verse's timeline for Miles Morales, and it couldn't have been done better. Miles Morales versus Miles Morales versus Miles Morales. It's going to be an epic showdown. Good versus evil. Spider-Man versus the Prowler, but in like a really cool, twisted way.
that's so funny. Really cool twisted away.
But anytime there's there in a movie, there's always those cool moments. But then there's the extra cool moments where you get chills. Yeah, like we get too excited when people talk about Secret Wars and we get to see Hugh Jackman and Iron Man and Spider-Man and Captain America share a screen. And we're shaking. Yeah. You know, there was that kind of moment in an animated movie. Just like, Into the Spider-Verse, there was a very similar moment to that. But not as powerful, in my opinion. That when you get the chills in this movie, it's I guess you have to be a nerd like us to understand, because I can imagine someone going in there watching it. What chill moment are we talking about?
Yeah, so I mean, obviously, this movie isn't for well, in general, if like I'm just gonna say it. No, I won't say it. There's a lot of people in the world that just don't like superheroes. They think it's the same thing over and over and over, and they're not affected by it, you know.
There's some people
But
who call them
someone,
there's some people that call them muñecos. We know who you are.
but then you got people, a lot of people who just grew up, just believing, imagining. Like I feel like that's one of the legacies of Stan Lee, like just helping the normal kid just like think big and like think of all the possibilities and have like I'm not saying it's the best source, but a source to look like, oh, Spider-Man had trials, he overcame them and all that stuff. And when you're like us, like, man, we were excited. Saturday morning was like the time, like we're like sitting there on our like couches and like, what's the, like, man, just good times. I mean, it's man, I can't say it more and more and more. It's the movie was just so well done.
I think any generation fan of Spider-Man will enjoy this movie. New
I think
generation,
so.
our generation, the generation before us.
Even the generation before Toby too, I bet.
Yeah,
I don't know if you mentioned that.
I did not, but we can add them too. Now, the biggest thing is, I don't know if I can go as far as saying that this is the best Spider-Man movie yet. I have to put them all
No, 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 no,
together.
no. I'm not saying. I'm not even saying that. There's
Is it
yet to
up
be.
there? Is it up there for
Is it up
sure?
there? Definitely.
In and of itself, yes. Is it as good or better than the first one? Yes. Meaning
Yeah.
the animated. We're just too excited. We're just like playing the movie in our head again as we talk to you guys because we're just excited. This is a good year for Spider-Man fans. Did you guys see the gameplay for Marvel Spider-Man 2? I did. Watch. They're gonna be like, oh, I watched it 50 times. Good for you. I have 2 kids. They have like limited TV time, which means I get
You
limited
get
TV
limited
time.
TV time too. Okay, bro.
So, everybody, thank you for tuning in. If you don't want spoilers, watch our spoiler-free review. I don't know how to do the whole link thing yet, so ignore that. If you've already watched the movie, come sit down with us, have this conversation with us. What do you agree with? What do you disagree with? Comment, like, subscribe, share. This is Rohood Productions. JP has something to say.
We got to do another video because I know there are some haters. There will be some haters that walked out of that movie and said that movie wasn't that good. So we
We'll
got
make
to
a
follow up
video
on those.
just for you. And we got a lot of content coming. It's a huge month for us. So, Brohood out.
Bro, hood out.